Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. It's us, the Three Wise Men. I'm Balthazar.
I'm Melchior.
And I'm Gaspar.
And we, the Three Wise Men, have a special announcement. This holiday season, we're looking for a fourth.
But not just any fourth.
We are monotheistic, polyamorous, patriosexual, and out of control.
Being patriosexual is when you're only attracted to people who are subscribed to their favorite Christian podcast on Patreon, and that's valid. And if you're not that, don't bother applying.
But my loves, where can someone check all those boxes?
Why, the Boys Bible Study Patreon at patreon.com/Boys Bible Study is the perfect place to start.
We'll be checking the subscriber list daily for potential new magi to add to the polycool.
Love is free, but gold, frankincense, and myrrh are expensive. So your support means a lot to us.
With your monthly donation, you'll unlock bonus episodes, live streams, and sexual tension.
So what are you waiting for? Oh, come, let us adore him. The water's fine. Okay. Discord chat popping on. All right. Settle down. Everyone, welcome back to Boys Bible Study. This is little Boys Bible Study Unwrapped. As always, I'm Ash. I'm here with my co-hosts
Scott
and Julian.
Our guest today, several times returning guest to Boys Bible Study, the creative person behind Paperback Paradise, as well as many of your other favorite art projects, Dom Moschitti. Hey, Dom.
Hey. Yo.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Whoa, what'd you say to me?
I'm season's greetings. Season's greetings.
Yeah, thank you.
Dom, you didn't celebrate Christmas all the time growing up. So
no.
Yeah. Now, why is that?
Well, to be absolutely honest with you, for me, Christmas has always been a bit of a mystery. I mean, what's it really about? And so I think, for me, I needed someone to unwrap Christmas for me, And so I came across this DVD one day. I had to get it, I was at a Salvation Army, and I saw this, and the DVD menu is the very same of the cover of a little boy in some kind of photoshopped into some kind of Thomas Kincaid painting, and he's looking down at the ice, and in his reflection, it's a full-grown Jesus looking right back at him.
He's also got like a pine tree right next to him. It's in the middle of this like icy pond.
That's a Christmas tree.
Oh, well, you can't say that anymore.
That's a season's greetings tree.
That's a holiday tree. Yeah. So Dom, you found this DVD that we're watching today. It's called Christmas Unwrapped. And, would you say that due to your Jehovah's Witness upbringing, that this was like a very educational piece of media for you?
No. This DVD is great. It's got it covers a lot of ground about Christmas. Any questions you had about Christmas, basically every question you had about Christmas, it tries to answer.
Yes, very ambitious.
One of the big questions I had about Christmas was like, what did old people used to do when they were young?
Yeah.
Around Christmas.
Always wondering
and what products and decorations can you buy to get away from the commercial aspect of Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Christmas Unwrapped is the DVD we're looking at today. As Don was saying, this is something he brought to us, found just through Salvation Army, like DVD digging. Is there, just in general, what's some historical background on this DVD? Does it even have like listings online? Can anyone watch this? What's some info like that?
Yeah, this DVD is very special. It's hosted by a man named Pastor Greg Robbins. I wonder, because this was made in the aughts, where YouTube and stuff like that weren't really utilized. So I guess I would imagine that Pastor Greg is like, sorry, now I'm thinking out loud, because like, how did this DVD get here?
Right.
That's
what
Pastor
I wanna
Greg
know.
Robbins seems to be making his work out of, outside of Pittsburgh somewhere. And, like, what's the point of this DVD? Where does it come about? Like, where could you have acquired it? I'm trying to understand that.
Because I'm looking through Google and like, I can't even find a place to buy this DVD.
It must have been just something like maybe promotional, or maybe something he sold after he appeared places, because he seems to be trying to make money through his many ventures, as you can find on his YouTube page.
Yeah.
I think it just had a limited run, because on christiancinema.com they have it, but it's out of print.
I see.
So he probably printed like 100 and that was it.
Wow. So this is a rare DVD.
Very rare.
Absolutely.
And, we apologize then to our listeners that, not all of you might get a chance to watch this very like interesting and educational DVD about the spirit of Christmas. So we'll do our best to like really convey the full feeling of it to you right now, because there's many nooks and crannies in this thing. I really was taken on an educational journey going through it. What else do we know about Greg Robbins, though? What else does he have his hands in?
Well, he also did this movie called See Me Dance. That looks really insane. I'm now the highest bidder on eBay for it. So that's good news.
That is great news.
If you try to get it on Amazon.com, it's like $45 used.
Jesus Christ.
It's the cheapest you can get it. So it's clearly incredible.
Well, Pastor Greg, I believe the origins of Pastor Greg are that he went to LA to become an actor and model.
Okay.
And it didn't pan out. And he started making his own movies. Well, I guess he started making his own sitcom. He made a sitcom called, what's the
Pastor
title?
Greg.
Pastor Greg. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes.
It's the first Christian sitcom,
Right.
according to them.
I do not know where it aired. It seems to be perhaps just another direct-to-DVD production. An independent production direct-to-DVD.
It's a very interesting like cultural object, because like if you try to research Greg Robbins online, you find a lot of Wikipedia pages that are fully fleshed out, but like clearly written by either Greg himself or someone close to him. And they have, detailed information about all his works. Pastor Greg, according then to Wikipedia, is a Christian sitcom, the first Christian television show of this genre, debuting in 2005, running for 3 seasons. It was briefly broadcasted on Trinity. Now, let's parallel this to something we previously covered in a November bonus episode, which is the Christian television show 7th Street Theater, which also claimed to be like the first Christian primetime show. Isn't that right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all these Christians want to do it first. You know what I mean?
Well, they're all trying to sell something. I think that's the big thing, is that like it's easier to sell something when like on the thing you're selling, there's a big banner that says the very first one.
Dom, that's a little cynical. I'm sure their intentions are purer than that.
Well, sure. I mean, it's for God.
There actually is archived on Greg's own YouTube channel. There was like a Good Morning America interview with like Barbara Walters and like other people that is about the sitcom Pastor Greg, where they're like it's like clearly a planted story, and they're all like marveling at it. And like Barbara Walters is, I mean, it's scripted, but she's being like, and this is not your father's sitcom.
It's a new Christian sitcom, and its producers say it's the only one in the world. So the question is it evangelizing? Is it just funny?
Like there's like a gun off screen, like pointed at her, and you know what I mean? Like type of situation. And I'll probably put in this audio, but there's a weird part at the end of the segment where they're like, where Barbara Walters is like, how is this thing going to make any money?
If it's in all these markets, Claire, do they expect to make sitcom level money, and where does the money go?
Well, that's very interesting. No, the president of Cornerstone Television says this project is so important to him right now. He's not necessarily looking to make money. He's just hoping not to lose money. So that's a pretty nice situation for a sitcom to be in.
I mean, it's truly amazing that they got it together to make a sitcom about Pastor Greg, and nobody seemed to have seen it.
Right.
But like, were they in the middle of making it? Anyway, I've got so many questions. Also on that channel is just Greg's new acting reel. You can just check out his newest acting reel.
Oh, great. So here's a new person, that we can finally introduce to the Boys Bible Study canon. This is our first time covering some of his media. I have a feeling like it won't be the last. Pastor Greg Robbins. Look him up. He has a very pleasant face. I like to look at him, honestly.
Yeah, I like his hair. It's like very outdated but timeless.
What I like about him is that he's convincing enough. Like he's convinced enough in what he's saying that he's one of those guys that can convince other stupid people to give him money.
Yep.
And that's what he does.
That's the American dream.
I like the lighting in his home. It looked like he was green screened into it. It was really bizarre.
That's how you know you're a real professional actor, is when you have the type of aura that makes it seem like any place you're in that you're green screened in. If you're so shiny around the edges that you look perpetually keyed into a scene.
I'm trying to remember where this starts. Like, it starts with the birth, of course.
The cold open of the birth of Jesus. And it's, I can't think of another Christmas or birth of Jesus video or story that starts with like the painful, like semi-realistic birth of Jesus.
Yes.
You got Mary like screaming in agony.
Yes, I have in the notes, Mary screaming while giving birth, ... Very scary, !
There's animals in the barn with the actors as they're acting this out, and a goat is tied to a post, and the goat desperately wants to get away from the screaming.
Oh my God, I didn't pick up on that. Yeah, there's live animals in this. Like, that's the thing. Like, this is like quite a production. Like, as we start talking about some of the segments in this DVD, we have dramatizations, like this one of Mary giving birth in the manger. We also have scripted talking points from Greg himself. We have impromptu interviews. It's a very mixed media type of collage experience. And to the point where for the first like 10 minutes, I really didn't understand like the angle of it at all.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's kind of freeform up until it introduces the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes.
And then we can get to that when we want to, but that's a whole concept to unpack. But yeah, the video just kind of, it's kind of Pastor Greg giving you scripture, and then montages of older people, some 100 years old, talking about what it was like for them being little kids and celebrating Christmas and what they used to do. And also Zuzu from It's a Wonderful Life is there, also giving you details about her Christmas with her kids.
Yes. Celebrity guest Carolyn Grimes, a.k.a. Grimes, as we all know, the beloved indie pop singer.
You may know her music. Yeah,
you may have heard her various Christmas carols she's released over the years. But as a young girl, she was in It's a Wonderful Life, and she is sort of like the celebrity talking head in this, among just many very old people who are telling you about Christmases past.
And how much better they used to be.
Yes.
The big criticism, I guess, that the older folks have is that Christmas used to be a lot more simple and wholesome, and now it is too commercial.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of reflected in the opening montage of the like black and white photos of Iwo Jima and Abraham Lincoln and the Statue of Liberty, and then a rocket ship flying through a Christmas tree, and then
people
cell
going up an
phones
escalator.
and people going up escalators, and then cell phones and iPods and
laptops.
I think it culminates with Obama saying, "We are not a Christian nation," while the words "Merry Christmas" are crossed out and replaced with "Season's Greetings" over a picture of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And that is the big opening to Christmas Unwrapped.
Yeah, this is an Obama response film.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, like you guys said, it proceeds to be 50 minutes of people saying, Christmas was a lot simpler when I was 5 years old and didn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah. So clearly that was a better time period.
Yeah.
At one point, one of the older folks starts talking about how the Christmas tree used to have burning candles on it.
Right.
And she was like, we had to be very careful. And they show photos of like a Christmas tree with burning candles on it. And yeah, why was Christmas so dangerous? Why did they do that?
Well, we had a Christmas tree with real candles and lit. And we had to be very cautious getting near the tree.
Are you able to like sleep? Are you supposed to go to sleep while the candles are still going?
Yeah. And if you live, then that means that Jesus loves you.
A good question. I would assume they blew the candles out at night, but yeah, it's like Christmas was a lot better when there was a chance of death. Like clearly to these people, like the libidinal rush of being a moment away from death is like actually what gave Christmas the like, you know, the sort of excitement that it's lacking nowadays. It's all too fucking watered down.
They had the Spanish flu, they had the Great Depression, they had the Dust Bowl. When things like, you know, petered out and started getting good, they were like, you know, we should just create an opportunity for us to die. You know, that used to be so common in our lives.
But meanwhile, this bitch is 101 years old telling us this. So clearly, like, you know, God chose to spare her, and she lived to tell us, you know, for an hour why Christmas used to be better in the old days because you used to go to the department stores and look at the windows. And the kids don't have that anymore, you see.
No.
And we'd look at the windows of the department stores. And in the windows, there'd be these mechanical little scenes and all the excitement of people lining up at the windows to watch all the action in the windows. And there was always a religious window. And that made you just feel so Christmassy. And I loved going down to see those windows. And I think it's a shame that we don't have that anymore for the children to see.
It's interesting. I had commented when we were watching the film. I don't even know if it's hard to say it's a film, but I guess so.
It's an experience.
It's I said this while we were watching, but it kind of feels like an older person trying to tell you the meaning of Christmas, where they read from the Bible a little and then they just tell you stories about when they were little, and then they get lost and start telling you stories unrelated. Like there's for real a story about a woman tells a story about being a young girl and going to buy a dress for herself, and it was $2 more expensive, and so her father bought the dress for her anyway. And it was like, it seems so unrelated to Christmas. I have no idea what this story is about.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those sweet old person stories where it was like, my father, who was mean to me 98% of the time, was nice to me this one time.
Yes. Some other moments like that I have written down in our notes. At one point, a woman talks about how she got red leather shoes and she was thrilled. Do you remember the one woman who was like, we didn't get many gifts. We each got one. Me and my sister each got one gift, and we would like trade it with each other like all day or something.
We didn't have the money to buy the gifts that they have today. We got one gift, maybe two. I had one sister, and we'd trade gifts back and forth.
Yeah, the way she said it, yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like one of them got a gift for Christmas, the other one got wrapping paper for Christmas, and they would just rewrap it and hand it back and forth all day.
And they were happy, goddammit.
Not anymore.
No.
Now everyone's got a Tamagotchi.
Right. So what's changed? What's changed about Christmas nowadays? Like, why is it worse?
Well, Barack Obama said we're not allowed to hang up Christmas trees anymore. I remember when he wrote that into law.
Yes.
Yeah, famously, he was giving one of his speeches and he had a whiteboard and he wrote Christmas on it and then he slowly crossed it out.
And then everyone stood up and saluted and said, "Season's greetings, Mr. President," and then sat down. So as an antidote to the changing nature of Christmas, in Christmas Unwrapped, Pastor Greg Robbins and his cast, it's sort of like a self-help type thing or like an instructional DVD, like interspersed with these various skits and things. They offer many tips of how to recapture that Christmas spirit. I was sort of hoping we'd spend a few minutes going over some of these tips and, passing along the good information.
Suddenly, in the middle of the film, they tell you the meaning, like the actual 12 days of Christmas, which...
Right.
The DVD takes time to tell us that the 12 days of Christmas are actually between Christmas Day and January 6th. And then they proceed to tell you activities you could do on each day of Christmas to rekindle that old time Christmas feeling.
Yes, that's an important distinction because, yes, the film makes very clear to talk about how people assume incorrectly that the 12 Days of Christmas song, the famous song, Partridge in a Pear Tree, that those 12 days are talking about the days immediately preceding Christmas, when in fact it's actually the 12 days after Christmas before Epiphany, which is the day in the Christian calendar that the wise men have supposedly come to the manger to give gifts.
Many people incorrectly think that the 12 days of Christmas are the 12 days leading up to Christmas, when in fact they are the 12 days between Christmas and Epiphany, December 25th and January 6th. Epiphany is the day that the Magi, or three wise men, arrived to deliver their gifts to the baby Jesus. This period is often called Christmastide.
But this is very interesting because it presents this to you as like a key fact. But then it spends the whole rest of the movie giving you activities for the 12 days of Christmas. And very clearly, these activities are based on just like the secular schedule. Like it's like decorate the Christmas tree, which obviously you wouldn't do on fucking like December 30th. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
It's a very strange discrepancy that makes the whole film a confusing experience.
Day 12 is literally spend the evening together. Okay. Are you a Christian family or not? Every evening should be spent together.
One was like make cookies together.
Well, and so after each of these activities, they give you a card at the end with suggestions of like topics to talk about.
Yes. So yeah, again, we're being presented with a couple instructional pieces of information. One, as we were saying, this very like charming, bubbly, like blonde woman is telling us things to do on the 12 days of Christmas. Actually, before we get into discussion questions, what are as many as we can remember? What are...
I have them all screenshotted. I can...
Would you mind going over them? I would love to just like... Every Boys Bible Study patron deserves to know what you should be doing with your 12 days of Christmas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So day 1 is celebrate Christmas. It's for Christmas Day.
Boom.
Day 2, plan the making of your Christmas DVD.
Awesome. Which is
I forgot about that.
Which is like for a thing that's like about like Christmas is too commercial. They were like, make a DVD in like the 2000s.
Yeah, and
that's how this DVD got made.
Day 2. Plan the making of your Christmas DVD. Pick 6 members of your family, friends, youth groups, or congregation and schedule a time with them for an interview. When complete, you will be sharing this video for all of your friends and family to enjoy on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so that leads us to believe that we are watching his Christmas DVD.
Oh, yeah. He made a good one.
He made a really good one.
Absolutely.
It's better than mine, I've got to say.
Yeah, mine doesn't even exist.
Well, this year, you can change that, December 26th.
Yeah, I think I will.
Then we have day 3, December 27th. You decorate the Christmas tree.
That's so silly.
Day 4, 3 days after Christmas, the way everybody celebrates it in the entire fucking world.
Right.
Day 4, go Christmas caroling.
Okay.
If somebody showed up to my house on December 29th at this point.
Yeah.
Is that what this is? And they were singing Christmas carols. I might let them sing.
Yeah, at that point,
I may shoo them away, though. That is obnoxious.
If Grimes shows up to my house and starts singing Reality on December 29th, I will let her sing in front of my door. Anyway, go on.
Okay, so day 5, I assume this is planning for the following year. Make your own cards and wrapping paper.
Okay, get to work. we got 1 day before New Year's Eve. Better start working on next year's Christmas.
Yeah. Yep. Day 6, bake cookies.
I can support that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fun any day of the year.
Well, the thing about that one was that they were like, bake cookies, but instead of not having fun, try having fun.
Yeah.
They said you'll have plenty of cookies and plenty of great memories to share.
And they were like, oh, and she was like, when you're going to the grocery store, give everyone in your family. And they were playing stock footage of like, a young couple with like many kids of like single digit ages, maybe like 4 kids or something. And it was like, give everyone in your family like a task to do at the grocery store. And it's like, have you ever fucking been to the grocery store with kids? Like that is just imagine telling all of your like 8-year-olds to just run around the grocery store and like grab things. Like it just sounds like an absolute nightmare. But anyway, go on.
All right, so we're on day 7 now. Mm-hmm. Decorate the house inside and out.
So New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Wait, is it New Year's Day or is it New Year's Day at this point?
Yeah.
And then day 8, make homemade gifts. Day 9, have a Christmas movie night. We can all support that.
Yeah, we can all support that. That's the one thing that you can do all year round, even on January 3rd.
It was odd when they were explaining that because they were really talking to you as if you had never had not only a Christmas movie night, but a movie night at all.
They were like, so let's back up a minute here. So if you put a series of pictures together and move them really fast, it creates the illusion of movement. Now we've captured these various movements on digital video discs. And what you can actually do is put one of these on in the presence of your entire family. Try doing this. You might find that it'll create some good memories.
Yeah, so when you make your Christmas DVD on day 2, you have 7 days to finish it, I guess.
Yeah, you better have it. Like that's what we're watching.
And day 10, begin a yearly family Christmas scrapbook.
Oh, God.
Okay. I guess you could do that whenever.
Sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Day 11, visit someone less fortunate.
Okay.
They finally got there. And when we wrap this up, I'm sure we're going to have a meta discussion about like the various like failings of this DVD. But I will preview that by saying that like for a DVD that spends the entire hour of its runtime, like telling you how to, or should I say scolding you for like being commercial and lamenting the fact that Christmas has become a commercial holiday. Finally on like day 11 of 12, like for the first time in the entire DVD that they've been talking about like cookies and like caroling and shit. They're finally like, by the way, like not everyone is celebrating Christmas the way you are. Some people are homeless. Some people are poor. So think about that.
For one day. Just
for a
one
day.
day. We got to get back. We got to get back to the tradition.
Yeah. And
after you buy all the shit to decorate your house.
And they largely focused on just giving cookies to the elderly, which I found a little odd.
Yes, yeah.
There is like a really existential moment where like a little boy is like, it's up to us to save them.
Yeah.
Like when there's like this little like scene that plays out of like kids talking about Christmas and like who's got stuff and who doesn't have stuff. And then like this old man crouches down in his khakis and he's like, they don't got nothing. The unfortunate. And the little boy says, I guess it's up to us to save them. Like some movie's about to start or something. But
this little boy named Kelvin, at one point, like I wrote down some of the lines of the script because at one point Kelvin is like,
socks. That isn't very fun.
Yeah, it's no fun, but most of these children are very poor. And they need things like clothes and food more than stuff to play with.
But they like playing with things, don't they?
Well, you bet.
Some of these kids will die, won't they?
Yes, Calvin, some will.
So I guess it's up to us to save them, isn't it?
Yes, Calvin, I guess you're right. It's up to us.
And it's just this like poignant like skit with people we've never met before, just like completely out of nowhere on this Christmas Unwrapped DVD.
Can we talk about some of these clips that are like cut in throughout these?
I would love to.
Oh, yeah.
What are our favorite skits in the Christmas Unwrapped DVD?
Definitely, like, okay, to describe these, there are
vignettes.
Skits that are, vignettes that are peppered throughout the movie that are clearly taken from like other unfinished projects or something. Yeah. And just like placed in here to vaguely fit with the theme of Christmas. My personal favorite is the one that is a black and white shot on a handy cam of Santa like having a nervous breakdown and pleading with this mom to like teach her children about the symbolism behind all the items that you see in like a typical like house around Christmas time, while the child watches from the stairs.
So bored. So incredibly bored.
Like clear scene in the background, like trying to get out of the shot because he's so bored.
Teach the children that it was the angels that announced the glorious news of the Christ's birth. The angels sang, "Glory, God in the highest, on the earth peace and goodwill towards men." Remember, teach the children the true meaning of Christmas.
It should be noted that Santa Claus is played by Pastor Greg Robbins.
Oh,
wait, really? I didn't recognize him.
I didn't realize
him.
that.
Wow, he's such a good actor.
Wow.
He was an actor and a model.
Right.
And this is why you shouldn't stay up to see Santa, because you will be bored out of your mind and completely disappointed.
It's like how they say never meet your heroes,
Santa Claus is my hero.
Well, I wrote some of my favorite lines from the Santa script. Santa, who, as Julian said, appears to be having a nervous breakdown of some kind. He's like weeping. At one point I have in the notes, Santa is still crying at this point. But he says things, he's like weeping. He's like to look at the wreath, all the needles point heavenward. And he's like, he's like, teach the children. You have to teach the children.
This whole thing feels like the culmination of like Greg Robbins' manic episode that he started having in like September, and now just has like this DVD of like
a Christmas DVD,
10 different half-finished projects that he started and then just got distracted. But like the overall theme was Christmas and the meaning of Christmas, but he can't quite explain. Like he's connecting dots that have no connection between them.
Maybe it's like 10 years worth of day 2 of Christmas DVDs.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, is that people were like, what's this DVD that he's making? And he got a little self-conscious about it. So he's like, it's a Christmas DVD.
And
you're supposed to make them every year.
You're supposed to make them, by the way. I'm actually a good person for making one.
It's a Christmas tradition. It started 5 years ago in Southern California.
I love the vignette where it's just they really talk about how great the Victorians are, because they started a lot of the new traditions of Christmas. And then it seems to be like a woman dressed up in a Victorian, in like a very dark, cold Victorian home. She's sitting at an old wooden table, and it's shot through another chair at the table. And it keeps like swaying back and
like
forth between this hole that's carved.
It's like a working horror found footage style.
Yes. It's she's about to get strangled in another movie, but in this one she is just going on about maybe pies
about the pudding.
Or something. I can't remember.
The pudding.
Why, I remember how we stirred the Christmas puddings and made wishes as we mixed them in the bowl from the washstand.
The aroma of them cooking in the washhouse copper made us feel that the Christmas season was upon us proper.
The pudding,
Yeah,
and then it's intercut with like a young boy who sometimes says some of the words.
She transforms into a child several times and then back into like an angry adult reading this poem about how like they made the pudding and it was like fun, but now they don't make the pudding and the pudding is for sale and they can't afford the pudding. But like the tone that she reads it is like with such anger throughout the entire poem.
There's a part where she's like, and we used to stir the pudding and we kept a little tasting pud for the rest of the day. And we would taste in the beginning of the day. But now the pudding's in a basin. It's in a basin and you can't afford the pudding.
Do y'all think that vignette had more underlying darkness to it, or the Santa vignette?
I think the Santa one.
Maybe Santa. It's a tough pick.
I think because he is like on the verge of tears.
Well, Santa is also like hunched, like he's like fashioned the bag of toys on his back, and they've like arranged it so it looks like a Coca-Cola or something. Like it looks like really picturesque. But it's shot in black and white, so you can hardly see what's on his back. But he's completely hunched over through the whole thing, and he keeps just going, teach the children.
I don't have much longer.
It's his burden, his curse.
He also says, don't put me at the center. Don't put me at the center.
Do not put me in the center, for I am but a humble servant of the one that is. And then I bow down to worship him, our Lord and God.
This is probably like house 3,572 of the night or something. He's just carries this burden around with him always.
I want to see that. I want to see that picture from Hellraiser of the guy with no skin writing on the wall, "I am in hell. Help me!" But it just says, "Teach the children."
It's still in blood, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was like Santa Claus needed his heart medicine or something.
So my favorite vignette, and there were many to choose from. My favorite vignette was when, for no reason, this is the only time in the DVD when they did a man on the street interview, and it's with a teenager, and I think one should point out that like it happens to be a black teenager, and there's no other like people of color in the film, obviously, you know. And it's a man.
Well, there are some carolers at one point.
Oh, that's true. And that appears to be stock footage. I think that was stock footage that he bought.
They're caroling in a void. Dom, I think you said they were in limbo, those carolers.
Yeah.
Just in like a black void, just slowly zoomed out.
Yeah, because they were the only thing lit in darkness. Yeah, it was like shot on a stage too, so it must have been stock.
Well, but they do this man on the street interview of this, and they're talking to this black teen, and they ask him, you know, what's the meaning of Christmas? And he's like shrugging his shoulders and being like, and they cut away.
You have 3 seconds to answer.
Right? And it's like interspersed with them like asking like an old white woman, like, what's the meaning of Christmas? And she's like, it's about the birth of Jesus. And then it cuts to this like teen who's like, and it's like, oh, these teens.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah, they didn't. They went there. They went and got you riled up a little bit about it.
They did.
You know,
they did.
And then shortly thereafter, one of the oldest interviewees says, I think Christmas today is disgusting.
I think Christmas today, I think it's disgusting. The department stores have the Santa Claus and different things out in September already, I think.
She does.
Teach the children.
She does. While we're just calling out random vignettes, I loved when they were talking to that one like pastor and his wife, or maybe they were both pastors, but they were a married couple, and they were looking at, first of all, every time they were talking, they were just looking dead in each other's eyes, even though there was like a camera that was like, it was one of those things where like they couldn't say anything without the like constant like consent of the other person, like looking directly in their eyes. And she was like,
and last year we were able to get enough either donations of money to buy Bibles or donated Bibles that we were able to give every child either a DVD of a Bible story or a Bible, that every child not only got toys, but they got a Bible, something that would impact their lives forever. So that was a thrilling time.
That's a great thing to accomplish, is that you gave every child a DVD.
Not everyone has a DVD.
Wonderful. No, so many people don't have DVDs right now. This DVD is really frustrating because you can see where like parents probably picked up on some of these ideas and they were like, oh yeah, Christmas is too commercial. Like this is like the propaganda that a parent saw and then began to restrict Christmas
right.
on maybe I just have that kind of sensitivity about Christmas because I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Somebody came and told my mom the good news, and she told us the good news too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She blew out all the candles on our Christmas tree.
So what you're saying is you can see like a parent watching this and then like getting inspired to radically change the way a family celebrates Christmas.
Yeah, and like it's probably has like a 3% success rate, this DVD, upon those who have watched it. But I don't know, like all these activities.
That's one person.
The activities are so mind-numbingly stupid and bad, and still require a lot of money.
Yes.
Like they talk about decorating the house, and then they show like houses that are just fucking lit up.
Well, they said decorate the house inside and out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And all of the traditions are from like Germany.
Yeah, they zoom in on Germany twice.
150 years ago, and they're like, these are the most true Christmas traditions.
Yes. There's a constant emphasis by Pastor Greg Robbins in Victorian traditions and German traditions, which, hey, I mean, that does inform this very specific style of Christmas celebration, but it's interesting that he constantly goes to them. I think then, I'm sure as we're concluding, there's going to be little bits that come to mind. There was truly so much here, but I think it would be a great time to point out like just the general like failing of this entire worldview, basically, which is like, all of the stuff that they were suggesting you do, like if there was like a running like price tag like alert that went through the whole DVD, like every time they suggested you do something, like if there was just a receipt that started like autofilling on the side of the screen, by the end of the DVD, hundreds if not thousands of dollars.
Absolutely. and it started in how Christmas isn't like it used to be. It used to be so simple and easy. And then they've gone ahead and made a list of activities for you to do every day.
If you follow these activities, you're busy. Like you need to spend this. Basically, this DVD says that you should spend the entire month of December in perpetual focus on achieving the Christmas spirit. And if you do that, then Christmas will have the magic that it used to when things were simpler.
And they wonder why, and they show that chart of the stress and anxiety levels.
Yeah. I wonder why.
They're like, you need to reassess your whole life and refocus your entire month of December around these activities. Right. And you will be less stressed out and less anxious. Now follow these instructions to a T.
Probably the main source of that anxiety and stress is being around the family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that is just, especially if it's extended. I went to one extended family Christmas. It was insane.
Nightmare.
And there was a total, Greg, it wasn't my family Christmas. It was a significant other. But there was an uncle who was a total Greg Robbins, Pastor Greg Robbins type, where like he had all types of air to say things about Jesus in the Bible, but it is so clear he didn't understand dick of it, and like all he could do is speak confidently about it, but without any actual confidence of the knowledge. And yeah, I don't know, family. I'm against them.
100%. Listen, family is insane. We all know this. Honestly, even if you like I get along very well with my family. Like it's still like insane. Like spending that much dedicated time with your family is just like, it just doesn't work out well for anyone. And the basic premise of this DVD is like, if you spend your entire waking hour doing elaborately choreographed activities with your family, including multiple young children, like you are going to be happy and stress-free and accumulating these memories that will last you a lifetime. I already used this example, but the idea of like, you know what? I'm gonna send my 4 kids down the aisles in the grocery store to get chocolate chip cookies, and then we're gonna come home and bake them. Like that alone is like, I mean, God, like that's like you have to sleep for 48 straight hours after that. I mean, there's people who do it all the time. I couldn't fucking imagine, but like just watching them suggest that in the DVD stressed it out. I was like, you have to know that this is like a difficult thing. Like you don't just send your kids running around the grocery store.
Adults are absolutely twisted and demented in their expectations of children.
Yes.
It's like they have this picturesque idea of like what childhood was back in the day for Christmas. All these like wholesome memories of everyone like walking around in little coats behaving themselves. Right. Like, it's such an insane fantasy.
That just speaks to how depressed their adult life is, that they like have totally washed their brains of any terrible thing that happened as a child.
Oh yeah, it's got it smoothed out. You got my brain smoothed. Got rid of them bad ones. Got only good ones.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, children used to be so well behaved. It's like, yeah, I guess parents were more violent too. You could also say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, my dad used to hit me and I'm glad he did. You're like, okay.
One good thing though about Christmas today is that as it is so clearly underlined in the movie that popcorn strand is easier to make than ever.
The popcorn strand is easier than ever to make and still a fun family project for Christmas.
That's true.
Yes. Dear listener, gentle listener, it's hard to convey just how much information is in this DVD. Like, I could watch it 3 times and like, they fire so many things at you that like you could literally go phrase by phrase and just like, we could genuinely just like watch this DVD, stop every 5 seconds and talk about it for a couple minutes to the point where we'd release like a 4-hour podcast. But one of my favorite lines, which I wrote down in the notes, as Tom just said, is he's talking about making popcorn on a string for the Christmas tree. And he says, word for word, I wrote this down, the popcorn strand is easier than ever to make.
Absolutely demented.
The old days of like crumpling popcorn and having to start over or something, those days are dead.
Yes.
Just like this guy is like one traumatic event from just being completely removed from reality.
You could just read some of these lines and it really gives you a picture of like how all over the place everything was. Just only 2 minutes before, or I guess maybe 5 minutes before that, look through magazines for manger pictures and put them on your card.
Yeah.
Look through magazines and catalogs for manger pictures and paste them on your card.
Like, what an insane direction. Look through like, magazines for manger pictures.
That assumes, that one little sentence assumes so many things about you and your life and the way you spend your life that it's like, it cannot possibly be true for anyone. Like there's how
Go through your stack of Christmas Monthly and cut out all the
mangers and put them on your cards.
You must be sitting around like in a Christmas hell, receiving no joy and being like, God damn, like what am I gonna do around here? And then you watch this DVD and your life changes.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way that this DVD exists successfully. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I guess I got to go do 3 things before I can do the instruction that they asked me to do.
Did anybody have any favorite interviews?
The woman with the soft voice who says red leather boots, or red leather slippers, or whatever it was.
Is that the ASMR one?
You got to play that clip.
I will. Yeah.
In one Christmas, I got 2 pair of slippers, navy blue, and a neighbor gave me a pair of red leather slippers. Oh, I was so thrilled with that.
Real lip smacky.
Was that Ruth Dilly?
Could have been.
She's the same woman who says, "I think Christmas today is disgusting."
Yeah, Ruth Dilly, age 88.
Oh yeah,
Shout out Ruth Dilly.
She's like whispering it into her $3,000 microphone.
I'm gonna say R.I.P. Ruth Dilly, but who knows?
It's been a long day without you. Oh yeah. Well, Julian, what was your favorite interview?
Yeah, I had 2. I have 2 favorites. The first one is when they said to watch a movie together, and they interviewed Grimes from It's a Wonderful Life, and her recommendation is for everyone to watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Great idea.
And like clearly just stuck in the past. She even has a Z embroidered on her.
Well, I believe
insanely garish jacket.
I believe that is like a lapel, some kind of large.
Oh, okay, yeah, a lapel that may or may not be for the character she played in It's a Wonderful Life.
It's 100% for that character. She's sitting in the room dedicated to It's a Wonderful Life in her home.
Yes, and she said she listens to Christmas music all year round.
I love Christmas music. I listen to Christmas music year round because it's so much a part of my life, but I also feel like it gives me the memories from my youth.
Which is truly
it's demented. I'm sorry. Listen. I'm sorry. You're a broken person. I'm just gonna go on the record.
Yeah, absolutely. My other favorite one was Pastor Bernard McGraw, who is wearing like a peach colored shirt in front of like 50 plastic palm fronds. What are these? It looks like he's sitting in a jungle, but he recounts a story of going with his kids to get a Christmas tree, and they chop it down and put it on top of his truck, and they're driving home, and they didn't tie it down all the way, and the tree fell off the truck, and now every year he just goes and buys a plastic light up Christmas tree, and his children say that they're not having a real Christmas, and that is the end of his story.
Why is that story in the movie?
The story ends with him, his kids telling him that they aren't having a real Christmas.
The last time, 3 years ago, we did a live tree cut down. It was the tree went flying off our minivan, and disastrous blizzard outside. And so we actually have gone to pre-lit trees at this point. And because of that, my kids say we're not having a real Christmas.
And he's a pastor, and his children are telling him this. He's a coward.
Well, what did the Germans used to do? That's what we got to look at.
Slow zoom in on Germany on a map.
What were you going to say, Scott?
So that's the thing with all of this. So they're like telling you the right way to do Christmas. None of their reasons really have to do with the Bible. And then right at the end, they're like, oh yeah, this should be about the Bible too, to legitimize it. And they just rapid fire throw 10 Bible verses at you in honestly probably a minute.
Yes.
To the point where they're not even giving you the whole verse that they're showing. It'll be like one word.
Yes.
Cramming, like the cramming before the big exam.
Yep, because like I'm a nerd, and like I always like write down when we're watching a movie like what Bible verse is supposed to be important in the movie. And I was overwhelmed and completely turned off from the idea of researching any of the scriptural tie-ins in this movie because they literally, there's a couple PowerPoint slides at the end where he's like, and Ephesians 2 and Mark 1 and Micah, and he just like fucking blasts them out, and I can't keep up, Pastor. Sorry.
2 of them on one frame just said, share it, 2 Timothy 1, 6 through 7. Add to it, 2 Peter 1, 2 through 8.
Yeah, that's like I used to hate that shit where you sit in class all day and the teacher would just like kind of go on and on and on about like, I don't know, they would clearly be like having fun, and then they would be like, oh yeah, by the way, your homework is like these 3 chapters of the textbook. It's like, shouldn't I have learned that in class? Anyway, I guess I'm
but
like I have to go
right
home
now.
and teach myself. Like why am I doing that? Anyway.
Exactly.
The school
exactly.
system. There needs to be Bibles in schools is all I'm saying.
Well, hey, listen, someone in this very DVD we watched, she made sure that every child either got a Bible or a DVD of a Bible story. And if there were more people like her, then Christmas would be fully unwrapped. I know?
Oh, but definitely. We'd all be enjoying it.
I'll take the DVD, please.
Please.
Yeah, I'll take the DVD.
Please. If you're listening, we are some wayward boys in need of DVDs. We should give this the Boys Bible Study rating before we do. Any moments that we did not yet cover about Christmas Unwrapped? There's so much going on, so we won't get everything in. But any final thoughts?
There should have been like a cartoon or something. I feel like there was, even though I know there wasn't.
Greg had ideas for cartoons. I can tell you that much.
This movie was so all over the place.
All I want to know is who's going to be in my Christmas DVD.
Yes. Looking through the notes, one of the things they say about the DVD is they say, make a Christmas DVD, pick 6 people from your family or friends, schedule a time for an interview. So,
okay.
Well, now you just do it over Zoom.
Well, nowadays, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
But,
yeah, it's not like how it used to be.
No.
Mm-mm-mm.
Sucks now.
Yeah, Christmas fucking blows. I guess we could all agree. It all blows. So
disgusting.
I would say Christmas is disgusting, and it's up to you, gentle listener. It is up to you to have the best Christmas you possibly can. If you follow all the steps laid out on this podcast, you will have memories for a lifetime. If you don't, you might as well go to hell. You dumb hoe. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get excited about Christmas, what's worth getting excited about?
Right.
You know what I just remembered was when he was like talking about Mary, or like Joseph leaving Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she had the baby, Jesus. And he's like, very like, how would you describe the way he said, of course he would?
Yeah, well, I have the one line I have written down is he went,
Jesus was born to Mary. Now, this was no ordinary birth. She was a virgin, yes, really. And an angel told her she would bear a very special baby. Now, her husband-to-be didn't believe her. Who would?
Yeah, he did it really in a way that's like, you're never going to believe this. I liked it when he said that the manger that baby Jesus was born in was dirty.
Yeah, he said it was dirty and frightening. He did. He did.
Maybe that's why Mary was screaming. She was scared.
Yeah. Well,
maybe Christmas is more of like a Halloween holiday where it's scary.
Yes.
There we go.
I think that is an excellent conclusion to draw from this, which is that like if you really dig down into the true meaning of Christmas, you find that just like Halloween, it's full of body horror, violent scenes, supernatural scares. Yeah. I would say Christmas is basically the Halloween of winter.
Yeah, when you really unwrap Christmas, you see it's all skeletons and rituals.
Yeah, this is old Scandinavia Christmas.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And just wait until we get to Easter, which is, of course, the Halloween of spring. Another terrifying holiday. I hope that
quite scary.
I hope honestly, I'm sure we'll get to this in the spring, but one of my favorite holidays, I find the aesthetic to be simply terrifying. If you've seen the movie Midsommar, it's a lot like that. But what do you say? What do we, the Bible Boys, and our special guest Dom, rate Christmas Unwrapped by Pastor Greg Robbins?
I'll give it a rating that's easier than ever to achieve, which is one popcorn string out of one popcorn string. And all I'll add to that is that I wish they would kill the guy who invented Christmas.
Oh my God, that was one of the best lines of the whole thing. I didn't even get to say it yet.
It was a week before Christmas. Parking spaces were hard to come by. The stores were crowded. There were rude people, long lines, and grossly inflated prices. In one of these long lines, there was a gentleman getting very testy and tired of being there, and he yelled out, "Somebody should kill the guy that invented Christmas." And a lovely, gentle lady behind him, with godly wisdom, spoke and said, "They did. They nailed him to a cross." In that one sentence lies the true meaning of Christmas.
I'm going to go ahead and give this all out of all of the pine needles pointed towards heaven.
I'm going to go ahead and give this 4 DVDs of Bible stories out of 6.
Okay.
Oh.
Because 6 is, I don't know. I think maybe that's the night they asked you to watch a DVD.
I myself am going to give this 1 pink digital camera out of 1 because in the movie we didn't even get to mention they just interview a 9-year-old girl for no reason, and they ask her what her favorite Christmas memory is, and she says
and I started opening presents, and after a couple I opened up a digital camera, and it was like my favorite color, pink.
Oh, wait,
I think that was to show
that section is to show the shameless joy of children as they like the commercialism.
Right,
of
they're
Christmas,
lost.
I believe.
They're lost.
Yes, lost children.
And then they tell you to use a digital camera to make a
right.
DVD.
Yeah,
interviewing 6
you're
people.
preparing your child to make a Christmas DVD. This is going to be memories that last a lifetime.
This whole fucking thing was just shaming people for buying things and then literally 30 seconds later telling them to buy things.
It's good.
We went over so much of this, and yet there's a lot to explore. If you are for some reason able to get a hand on Christmas Unwrapped, 2009 DVD by Pastor Greg Robbins, I really hope you can watch. If not, I'm glad we were able to pass this message on, and definitely check out Pastor Greg Robbins' other works. I have a feeling you'll be hearing his name again if you continue to subscribe and listen to Boys Bible Study. Thank you for your support. Dom, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time on this holy time of year.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun. This was the first Christmas thing I did.
Oh, well, if you don't already, I'm sure you do, but if you don't already, follow the boy Dom Moschitti at Paperback Paradise. And on the Boys Bible Study side of things, as always, if you enjoyed our free episodes, we would love it if you would check out patreon.com/Boys Bible Study, where if you pledge to us, you can unlock bonus episodes that we do not release to the public, but we would love to share with you. Also, shout outs to our patron saint patrons at the $20 tier, Nicole, Russell, and Marissa. We really appreciate it. So we shout you out on all our episodes. For all who are celebrating, we sincerely hope that you have a wonderful Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Hey.
Happy holidays. Have a nice time of year. On behalf of myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, our guest today, Dom Moschitti, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day